शब्दार्थ संधात्री सर्व ज्ञान प्रदायिनी सर्वदा सर्वतः पातु स्वर्णवर्णा सरस्वती। माँ सरस्वती के चरणों में प्रणति निवेदन। मैं माँ सरस्वती को प्रणाम करते हुए सर्वप्रथम मंच पर आमंत्रित करना चाहती हूँ आज के इस महत्वपूर्ण आयोजन के अध्यक्ष द्वय पद्मश्री प्रहलाद राय जी अग्रवाल, एवं डॉक्टर हिमाद्री शेखर माइती। आपके साथ आज के विशिष्ट अतिथि डॉक्टर पी.आर. स्वरूप, जिनके सक्षम निर्देशन में आज हम यह कार्यक्रम करने जा रहे हैं, परम पूज्य स्वामी दिवाकर चैतन्य जी। आप सब माँ सरस्वती के चित्र प्रतिमा पर पुष्पार्पण करते हुए अपना स्थान ग्रहण करें। और कार्यक्रम के परिकल्पक डॉक्टर बी.डी. मुंदड़ा साहब, आपसे अनुरोध है कि आप मंच पर अपना स्थान ग्रहण करें। बुला रही हूँ। और इस पूरे कार्यक्रम के संयोजक आदरणीय डॉक्टर डी.पी. दुआरी जी से मेरा अनुरोध है कि आप कृपया मंच पर अपना स्थान ग्रहण करें। वेट करके धीरे धीरे बोल रही थी, इसलिए आपको प्रणाम। आज के इस महत्वपूर्ण आयोजन में पधारे सभी गुणीजनों, सुधीजनों, समाज और विज्ञान से लगाव रखने वाले सभी उपस्थित सभी महानुभावों का भारतीय विद्या मंदिर एवं भारतीय संस्कृति संसद की ओर से हार्दिक स्वागत, वंदन, अभिनंदन। बंधुओं, आज का यह आयोजन मात्र बौद्धिक चर्चा का विषय नहीं है, यह हमारे भविष्य की दिशा तय करने वाला आयोजन है। विज्ञान और समाज की पारस्परिकता इसी बात से स्पष्ट है कि विज्ञान जहाँ ज्ञान की खोज है, वहीं समाज उसका उद्देश्य है। विज्ञान ने समाज को न केवल सुविधा दी, बल्कि नई दृष्टि, नई सोच और नई कल्पनाएं प्रदान की। आज चाहे जीवन रक्षक दवाइयाँ हो, अंतरिक्ष की खोज हो या डिजिटल क्रांति, विज्ञान ने समाज को समय से आगे चलना सिखाया है। पर इसके साथ हमें यह भी याद रखना आवश्यक है कि हमारी प्रगति तभी तक सार्थक होती है जब तक उसके साथ मानवीय संवेदनाएं जुड़ी हों। विज्ञान को न केवल जानकारी का माध्यम बनाया जाए, उसे समाज की सेवा, समानता और समृद्धि का मार्ग बनाया जाना आवश्यक है। इस पूरे कार्यक्रम के परिकल्पक भारतीय संस्कृति संसद और विद्या मंदिर के कर्णधार डॉक्टर विट्ठलदास मुंदड़ा, जिन्हें मैं आदर के साथ भाई जी कहती हूँ, इनकी हमेशा से ये इच्छा रही है कि वैज्ञानिक सोच और वैज्ञानिक प्रगति से सिर्फ वैज्ञानिक लोगों को ही फायदा ना हो, बल्कि यह छात्रों, किसानों, महिलाओं और आम लोगों तक वैज्ञानिक प्रगति की बात पहुँचे। और अपनी इसी सोच को, अपनी इसी इच्छा को विस्तृत करने के प्रयास में आपने आज का यह इतना सुंदर आयोजन की परिकल्पना की है। मुझे यह बताते हुए अत्यंत हर्ष की अनुभूति हो रही है कि आज के आयोजन की अध्यक्षता कर रहे हैं सुप्रतिष्ठित उद्योगपति एवं सुप्रसिद्ध समाज सेवी पद्मश्री प्रहलाद राय अग्रवाल जी, जिन्हें अपने बीच पाकर हम हर्षित हैं। मैं सादर अनुरोध करना चाहती हूँ संस्था के सचिव या संस्था को आगे ले जाने वाले, अपने परिवार की विरासत को आगे ले जाने वाला उदीयमान कर्णधार हमारे बीच उपस्थित है, अभ्युदय मुंदड़ा। मैं उससे अनुरोध करती हूँ कि वो आए और आज के आयोजन की अध्यक्षता कर रहे प्रहलाद राय जी अग्रवाल का अंग वस्त्र बुके नहीं, बुक से आपके प्रति अपनी श्रद्धा ज्ञापित कर रहा है अभ्युदय मुंदड़ा। आज के आयोजन के अध्यक्ष पद को सुशोभित कर रहे हैं सेंट्रल ग्लास एंड सेरेमिक रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट के फॉर्मर डायरेक्टर डॉक्टर HS माइती, जिन्हें हम अपने बीच पाकर सचमुच गौरवान्वित हैं। मैं अनुरोध करूंगी संस्था के सचिव राजेश दुगड़ से कि वे आएं और अंग वस्त्र एवं पुस्तक भेंट कर आपका अभिनंदन करें। जिनके पवन पावन सक्षम निर्देशन में हम सब यहाँ निश्चिंत होकर बैठ सकते हैं, वे हैं परम आदरणीय चिन्मय मिशन कोलकाता के सर्वे सर्वा ब्रह्मचारी दिवाकर चैतन्य जी, जो कह रहे हैं कि मैं कुछ नहीं हूँ, सिर्फ सेवक हूँ, जिनकी रसस्नात वाणी से हम सब परिचित हैं। एक बार अगर ये स्वर लहरी छेड़ दें तो वो स्वर लहरी हमको किसी आराम से अपने समाधिस्थ करने में सक्षम है। ऐसे परम पावन गुरु जी का सम्मान करने को मैं सादर आमंत्रित कर रही हूँ राजगोपाल सुरेखा जी से कि वे आएं। श्री गोपाल डागा जी से मेरा अनुरोध है कि आप आएं। हमारे वरिष्ठ और विशिष्ट सदस्य हमारे बीच उपस्थित हैं विशिष्ट अतिथि के रूप में हमारे बीच उपस्थित हैं कंस्ट्रक्शन इंडस्ट्री डेवलपमेंट काउंसिल के डायरेक्टर जनरल डॉक्टर PR स्वरूप, जिन्हें अपने बीच पाकर हम सचमुच आनंदित हैं। मैं अनुरोध करूंगी राजगोपाल सुरेखा जी से कि वे आएं और अंग वस्त्र एवं पुस्तक भेंट कर आपका सम्मान करें। हमारे बीच एक ऐसा व्यक्तित्व उपस्थित है जो हमको कभी लगते ही नहीं है कि वो अपने नहीं हैं। हमारे बेहद अपने जिंदा दिल एमिनेंट एस्ट्रोफिजिसिस्ट, और जब देखो उनके चेहरे की तरफ तो अनायास जो देखने वाला है उसको तो हंसी आ ही जाती है। तो इतनी मुस्कानें बांटने वाले डॉक्टर डीपी दुआरी जी का हम हार्दिक अभिनंदन करते हैं और मैं बुला रही हूँ सुशांत गोपाल सुरेखा को कि वे आएं और दुआरी जी से आशीर्वाद प्राप्त करें। अब आगे के कार्यक्रम के लिए मैं भाई जी को बुलाने से पहले भाई जी के बारे में एक दो लाइन कहना चाहती हूँ कि ये जो मन में आता है उसको करके रहते हैं। पंख लगा सपनों के तुमने, मन चाही हर मंजिल पाई, हर मंजिल पर खड़ा सामने, नया स्वप्न लेकर अंगड़ाई। न जाने और क्या क्या आने वाला है सामने। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं सादर आमंत्रित कर रही हूँ डॉक्टर विट्ठल दास मुंदड़ा से कि आप आएँ और आगे के कार्यक्रम को गति दें। धन्यवाद।
या कुंदेन्दु तुषार हार धवला, या शुभ्र वस्त्रावृता, या वीणा कर दंड मंडित करा, या श्वेत पद्मासना, या ब्रह्मा शंकरादिभि देवै सदा वंदिता, पातु मां सरस्वतीं भगवतीं निःशेष जाड्यापहा। भगवती सरस्वती के चरणों में प्रणाम करते हुए मैं आपके सामने हमारे संबंध में दो शब्द कहने के लिए प्रस्तुत हुआ हूँ। बहुत खुशी की बात है और हमारे बहुत सौभाग्य की बात है। हमारा बहुत आदर बढ़ाया भाई प्रहलाद राय जी अग्रवाल ने। आपने पधार कर अध्यक्षता का पद ग्रहण किया। हमारे सम्माननीय डॉक्टर एच.एस. मेहती, उन्होंने पधार करके और हमें प्रेरणा दी और हमें स्वामी जी का आशीर्वाद प्राप्त हो रहा है। इससे बड़ी सौभाग्य की बात क्या हो सकती है। और अचानक हमारे मित्र डॉक्टर पी.आर. स्वरूप, कंस्ट्रक्शन इंडस्ट्री डेवलपमेंट काउंसिल के डायरेक्टर जनरल और यूनाइटेड नेशंस की कितनी संस्थाओं के अंदर भी जो सम्मिलित, एंड ए renowned engineer, एजुकेशनिस्ट डॉक्टर स्वरूप को साथ में पाकर मुझे बहुत आनंद हो रहा है। फ्रेंड्स, briefly I will tell you about भारतीय संस्कृति संसद and भारतीय विद्या मंदिर। भारतीय संस्कृति संसद was established in 1955 on Ravindra Jayanti Day under the presidents of Dr. Kalidas Nag, which was followed by Sri Suniti Kumar Chatterjee and others. This institution was established by some members of the society to understand, promote, propagate, and give shape to our Indian culture, which becomes contemporary. from that time onward, great scholars have graced this stage. Many philosophers, many men of literature, many musicians. किसका नाम लो? Great leaders like Babu Jayaprakash Narayan, Kaka Kalelkar, Sri Atal Biharji Vajpayee. The musicians like Bade Ghulam Ali Khan Sahab, Pandit Ravi Shankar, Nikhil Banerjee, and not last but not least, Pandit Jasraj and his elder brother Pandit Maniram. So many others have attended. And all these, even today, that tradition is being carried on. Besides these, there were people from field of science. Professor Satyen Bose, Dr. B.D. Nag Chaudhary. And why not? This is land of Dr. Jagdish Chandra Basu, Acharya Praful Chandra Ray, Meghnath Saha. This land has given so many scientists. And based on their theories, revolutionary theories, country has progressed, our eyes got opened to so many new things. Even today, that tradition is being carried on. And I am very grateful all of you have come here. And let me tell you a little bit about Bharatiyavidyamandir too. Bharatiyavidyamandir was established in 1948 in Rajasthan when people from Pakistan, our Hindus, were migrating, and their education was getting disturbed. So, to meet that requirement, a night college school that was started. Later on, a new school was added, and now today, a English medium school and Hindi medium school is there. Bharatiyavidyamandir has its own library and a research center where research on Indian culture and Hindi literature is done, and particularly Rajasthani literature too. The organization is having its own magazine, Vaichariki, which is being published for more than last 40 years. And I think the editor, Dr. Babulal Sharma, also may be here. So, articles on Indian culture are research articles on Indian culture are being published regularly in that magazine. Besides this, the organization has published so many books, large number of books on Indian culture, and the organization is involved into skill development. So they are, I think in the last 20 years, they have trained several thousand workers, supervisors, trainers, and they have trained even the engineers to do the work. Even now, that training program is going on. Bharatiyavidyamandir is associated with 3 schools, along with Bharatiya Sanskriti Sansad, like a Jasraj School of Music in Bombay, Jasraj School of Music in Calcutta, and Haveli Sangeet School in Rajasthan. Bharatiyavidyamandir, even today, has participated or organized number of conferences and organized just like Bharatiya Sanskriti Sansad, where so many conferences were held, but together also we have held so many conferences. Noteworthy one of that, which I would like to mention, was science and consciousness, primarily quantum physics and consciousness. And last, which was held in Jadavpur University, was Science of Consciousness. So bharatiyavidyamandir, besides this, well, we are having conferences on Hindi literature, folk literature. Even on music, we held a conference of young children on music. So this is going on. I would not like to take much of, because the story is long, and in some of the kits we have mentioned, and those who want to know, we will send them the literature. About this conference or this meeting, we have been feeling for quite some time that whilst we are discussing about Indian culture and literature, we are not getting in touch with our science and technology. We should not be separate, we should be together. The world today is in turmoil, and India is also passing through a phase which is transforming the country. But at the same time, there are a lot of issues, there are outside pressures, and there are insiders also who want to drag us down. In this situation, and to make progress, and it is not only that how long we will keep on purchasing technology from outsiders. We have to develop our own science, our own technology, and particularly cutting-edge technology. We should be in the forefront. So to encourage that, and then to amalgamate it with the society, because scientists are also part of the society. So a hand-holding is necessary. So with this idea, we started first step, and hope with your blessings and cooperation, we will be taking many more steps regularly. I am very honored and privileged to have Dr. Duwari to guide us, and all of you are there. So we will hold our hand together, make some progress, contribute our own to our own capability for building this nation, our great nation. मोदी जी ने कहा है ना, सबका साथ सबका विकास. और मुझे एक गाना याद आ गया, साथी हाथ बढ़ाना, एक अकेला थक जाएगा मिलकर बोझ उठाना. So together, let's make it success. And now I will ask Dr. Duwari to carry it forward, who not only he has inspired me, he is coordinator, he is mediator, so many things. So I will hand over now for further proceedings to Dr. Duwari, and then we will hear Dr. Swaroop, Swamiji, and our presidents. Thank you, sir, and thank you all of you who have encouraged us by your presence. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mundra, for giving me this opportunity to be speaking to a galaxy of very erudite, knowledgeable, wise, and futuristic people. Why the word I'm using futuristic? Because we are not talking about our past or the present scenario, both in terms of science, technology, our country, society, but in terms of what is there for us for the emerging India in the future. I thought that I will try to create a boundary of discussions, ideas, interactions of this very beginning day. Because to me, I personally strongly believe today is a new beginning for a young infant who can become tremendously important from the point of view of our society, our societal needs, demands, and also the people who actually fuels the development of the country, the science and the technologists. So it is not only an amalgamation of ideas. It is rather, as he mentioned, a hand-holding exercise, rather an embracing exercise between the two sectors of our society, which most of the people, even 20 years back, thought that they cannot come together. Science is somewhere here. People in the ivory towers, they will say something, we will listen to it, 80% will not understand, but we will believe they are very great people. And scientists, to some extent, not all, is to think that they will be wasting their time for their research and academics if they want to go out in the society and make the people understand in their own language what is science, what is technology, what is being happening, and how they can help us. That is the reason when Dr. Mundra told me about this meeting, I think just 10 days back, I was not aware of it earlier, I decided on the topic, science and society, not just relationship, but a symbiosis. It's a biological term initially. Symbiosis means both the entities, both the agencies, both the organizations, both the efforts, they interdepend on each other to thrive and grow. Science and society should be following that. So it is my privilege to speak before you today on a theme that has shaped human civilization in every age: the profound and enduring symbiosis between science and society. This is not merely an academic topic, but a living relationship that continues to define our progress, our priorities, and our future as a human species. In biology, as I mentioned, symbiosis refers to a mutually beneficial association between two organisms. When we apply this metaphor to science and society, it becomes clear that neither can flourish without the other. Science does not grow in isolation, never. It grows in a cultural, economic, and ethical landscape created by society. I'll give you an example. In class 4, 5, 6, our kids are learning the earliest form of scientific theories, conjectures, were given by people who are actually philosophers. Even our Western type of education that we still follow somehow, it is Socrates and Plato and Aristotle. Neither of them were a scientist by today's definition. But they has given us the basis of this scientific understanding through their philosophical and also social interaction output, apart from studies. So that way, society in turn evolves under the influence of scientific discoveries that reshape economies, lifestyles, beliefs, and aspiration. Now, how society shapes science progress? It is very easy to say that, but I have some specific bullet points. Human need as catalysts. Every major scientific advancement has been a response to society's needs. How? As mentioned by Taraji, diseases give rise to science of medicine. Connectivity, communication leads to breakthroughs in communication, and better living standard fostered engineering and technology. So they're direct, in sync with an everyday person's life. So our intrinsic queries about nature and the environment that we live in form the questions to which science devotes its invention and inquiry. Social funding and support, not always funding. Scientific research requires social investment, both in terms of material investment, also in terms of emotional and intellectual investment. Universities, laboratories, research institute, everywhere you find that behind every scientific discovery lies the commitment of a society that values knowledge. So why not the common people should know about the discoveries, the way it is discovered, the thing that are proposed by the theories, and the future that is there that can be seen through those theories. Ethics, public policies. Science does not operate in vacuum. Ethical boundaries, whether I will make an atom bomb or whether I can make a breakthrough in a biotechnology that way, whether related to genetic engineering, artificial intelligence, nuclear energy, or environmental conservation, they are set by societal values. You should understand that. These values shape what scientists can or should pursue. Cultural attitudes, very important, as mentioned by Dr. Mundra. Societies that treasure rationality, critical thinking, and education tend to advance faster scientifically. The faster we can change our perception, conception, faiths, and beliefs into real palpable form of understanding, it is better for the society. Not all can be accepted. Some can get rejected. Some can get edited. So what we knew should not be the basis of our pride. What we are should be the basis of our pride, using those thoughts and lessons. How science can transform society? It can revolutionize our daily life. Science has transformed every aspect: electricity, electronics, vaccines, virtual communication, transportation, satellites, agriculture, artificial intelligence, everywhere. So these developments have not only made life convenient, but have expanded human capabilities beyond and what earlier generation considered impossible. Enhancing health, I should not mention, especially after COVID, vaccination, antibiotics, surgery, biotechnology, and public health. Diseases that were once fatal are now curable or preventable. Economic growth. Modern economic are essentially knowledge-driven economics. It is not just business-driven economics. If they don't have the substance of knowledge behind that business model, it doesn't hold. Because innovation is the pathway to future. We have all understood that. So industries such as IT, pharmaceuticals, biotechnology, aerospace, renewable energy, telecom are all products of scientific advancement. Each innovation creates new sectors, new careers, and new opportunities. Empowering society through information. The information revolution, born of scientific progress, has democratized access to knowledge. Data, analytics, evidence-based decision-making now guide governments, industries, and individuals. Expanding human horizon, the most important aspect which was mentioned by Taraji. Astronomy, space exploration, particle physics, cosmology, expand our understanding of the universe and our place in it. They inspire curiosity, creativity, and unity, reminding us of the humanity's quest for knowledge. Dynamic cycle of symbiosis, in a very bullet point wise, society identifies challenges, science responds with discoveries and innovation and solution. These solutions reshape society, and a transformed society generates new questions and ideas. A cyclical process. What is the responsibilities in the symbiotic partnership for the science? Conduct research ethically and transparently. Communicate scientific findings clearly to the public, clearly. A lot of scientists do communicate, but after that, 90% of the audience will say, it went 5 kilometers away above my head. That should not be. Why I'm saying this? If you are a true, real blue-blooded scientist, what you say in your papers, in your articles, in your calculations, you should be able to break it down without diluting it to such a level a common person can understand. That is the whole point. I was just talking to somebody that I said that science is not just, I'm a scientist, that means I can solve the Green's function, I can solve the divergence problem, I can solve this thing, that thing. It also includes how I can communicate that to a person who have never gone across those things. That is very important, right? So research ethically, clearly to the public, Technology is used responsibly, and the long-term impact of innovations on society and the planets. What is the responsibility of the society? Promote scientific literacy at all levels. Scientific literacy, not faith-based always, belief-based literacy, science-based literacy. Invest in research and development. Support the scientific community against misinformation or prejudice, which nowadays we find sometimes happening in some corners, not everywhere. And create policies that balance innovation with safety. So symbiosis becomes fragile and programs becomes vulnerable without these responsibilities. Some of the contemporary challenges, there are millions. Climate change is one of them. Public health is another. Artificial intelligence and technology ethics. Space exploration and global cooperation. So what is the way forward? Strengthening the bonds. To preserve and strengthen the symbiotic relationship between science and society, we must encourage interdisciplinary education, promote curiosity-driven research, combat misinformation with science and technology communication, build a culture of rational thinking, support young scientists and innovators, ensure equitable and inclusive access to scientific benefits, foster global cooperation, and foster, very important, industry, academia, general public participation driving growth and empowerment. So in conclusion, I will say the relationship between science and society is of mutual growth, mutual dependence, mutual responsibility. Though a lot of people may think otherwise, but this is my personal feeling. Science is not separate from society, as it was said in the opening moments. It is born from it. Unless we are conscious, we do not know whether this is white or black or green. Our consciousness gives us the basis for the knowledge formation within each one of us. Similarly, the societal ethics, culture, heritage, demand gives rise to scientific needs. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So, science is not separate from society, it is born from it. And society is not merely a beneficiary of science, it is transformed and elevated by it. So as we look forward, which I hope under the leadership of Dr. Mundra, this particular aspect of society and science holding hands will gain a much bigger, wider impact throughout the country, I will feel. I'd love to see that. So we are faced with unprecedented opportunities as well as challenges. Let us remember that harmony between scientific inquiry and social values will determine the destiny of our humanity. You like it or don't like it, that's the truth. So let us nurture this symbiosis, which is happening today at 11:30 on 14th of December 2025, to grow into a much, much bigger, I'll say, a huge tree, which will give shades, ideas, comfort to the society and the scientists who are leading the society by their technologies, by their innovations. Thank you very much. Today, we have luminaries who will be speaking to us. And there are eminent scientists in the audience also. And we are so proud that they have found time to come here today. Basically, the structure is that we will have their deliberations, and then we may have all the dignitaries whose names are at least there. There are others, it was not there, but there are others, who can come and all sit together in a circle or a semicircle, give a 1 or 2 minutes of deliberations of their concept, and then it is open to the audience to point fingers and say, I have this question, please answer me. So this is the format. But for the standard deliberations, we have a person whom I met, I think, around 19 hours back, yesterday. And that person is nobody but Dr. P.R. Sarup. So what I found in him, what fascinated me, is the depth, not only of his knowledge that is always there, not only of his expertise that is already there, but the way he deliberates with people, each word carries tremendous amount of weightage. And for the young people, it is for them to decipher what he is trying to say for the welfare of this organization and as a blessing to the organization. So I will request Dr. P.R. Sarup, in his fantastic way of communicating with every level of people, to give for his words. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dwari. And of course, my profuse thanks to the person who can pull me out of wherever I am in the universe. That is my elder brother, like my Agraj, whose order is something which nobody could ever refuse. At least I can't dare to do that. It is quite some time that I was here in the same hall, and we were basically having a discussion with very enlightened people. There's something interesting about this seat, and that is that we have some of the finest thinkers, analysts, scientists, those who sit here, people from culture and arts, and it too has a history like this my city of Calcutta has. Let me tell you one of the refrains that I have, and that makes me feel slightly, I wouldn't call it inferior, because this too is my home. My elder brother lives here, and I can anytime walk in. The place is so fertile to really let the excellence grow here. May it be culture, may it be music, may it be law and order, orderliness, or sciences for that matter. I have many relationships with this city, and one of the most relevant relationship that I have, while Bhai Sahab was talking about the kind of great minds that have happened here, one name came to my mind, and it so happens that I have a third generation relationship with him. Sir C.V. Raman started things right here in Bengal. He too was a product, and this land is not only for those who go for biological growth, but also those who are coming from elsewhere and they are planted. My relationship with Sir C.V. Raman is that I am the student of one of the most favorite students of Sir C.V. Raman. It's my proud privilege to tell you that Dr. C.N.R. Rao happened to be my chemistry teacher, and right in the first year of my bachelor's program, he came out with tears crying, and he told me the story that he was one of the chosen young students at the level of 5th or 6th standard who were living with Sir C.V. Raman. Their entire education was being looked after by him. The food, everything was taken care of. It was like a Gurukul, where, the teacher was father and Guru Mata was the one who was Mrs. Raman. And these students were coached and trained by Sir C.V. Raman without fail every day for about an hour. Now, they always say that you can do wonderful things in life provided you have wonderful teachers. And I had been very fortunate in that respect. Bhai Sahab, as we call him, he has a long, long relationship. My council was initiated by the Government of India, Planning Commission, which is now known as Niti Aayog, and there are 4 central ministries and many PSUs. And interestingly enough, almost 50% share of the private sector industry. Construction industry is what I'm talking about. So, I had been so fortunate to have Dr. Mudra as my patron, and he has always treated me like a kid brother. And when he says something, it is absolutely not to be disobeyed, because then he knows how to handle the things. In our times, the big brothers used to go physical also. And I'm mortally scared that you never know when exactly he is going to do that with me. All right? So I was just about to come on an official business here in Calcutta. And the regular routine is that when I'm coming to Calcutta or when he is going to Delhi or Rajasthan, which happens to be our place of origin. This is another coincidence that my ancestors came from city of Bikaner only. So those relationships are there. It's no more official. He has always been a member of board of governors of CIDC, and he has blessed us with wonderful ideas. And I keep on sitting with him, we brainstorm, we talk about wonderful things, and we do it. It's not always related to industry. It is related to our society, it is related to our youth, it is related to sciences, it is related to astrology, astronomy, and anything on the planet that one can think of. Because knowledge and wisdom is a multi-stream type of situation. It's been always a pleasure. So I have always considered him to be a mentor of my council and personal mentor of mine. So when he delivered this speech, the opening address, I was just trying to compare as to what he had been doing for last 30 years in all our events. And believe you me, he is a permanent fixture. Without him, I will not organize any event. He has to be there. Similarly, he also does the same thing. So I was just telling him, silently, after listening to him, this famous dialogue, Tiger Zinda hai. No matter whoever says how old he has gone, but he still has that kind of metallic touch. Let's give a big hand to him. Dr. Dwari just met me 19 hours ago. And so has Mr. Daga. And we had been talking about several issues. In fact, yesterday, we were talking, myself and Dr. Dwari, we were talking about how exactly are we going to go to conduct this program. And Bhai Sahib was very sternly telling me that you can't have more than 4 or 5 minutes, okay? Once you start, you don't stop. I said, peril is yours. You give me the dice, you give me the mic, and then I will only leave when I like, okay? So Dr. Dwari was also giving me a threatening that I am the conductor of the program, I am the convener, and I'm going to throw you out. But obviously, he happens to be younger than me, and you know, age is a very important factor for people who come from those days. So I said, you just wait and see what I'm going to be doing. Yeah? So it's a great fun being here, but I think on a serious note, I will always say that we engineers are actually applied scientists, which means that the basic fundamentals of science, which are so brilliantly developed in the laboratories and through deliberations and conferences and seminars, to make them practical, to really go out and let the masses get the benefit of it. There are numerous examples. And very interesting fact, let me tell you, which basically comes, because one of the subjects that I really love reading and I like reading. That is history. History teaches us many things. History teaches us as to how the scientific developments took place, how the societies moved, what exactly are the kind of problems. And believe you me, it keeps on getting repeated. My elders have seen the days in 40s, Second World War, and places like that. And that needed an ingenuity where the scientists and engineers, doctors, biochemists, even people who come from the any stream of science, they had to work in unison together. My message to all of us is, and that applies to me also. Of course, I have a benefit. I have a monitor who's sitting there and he keeps on reprimanding me if I miss the route anywhere. So, I'll just cite one example. We have a live problem in our hand. And I, as the industry representative, I wish to lay before you, because I'm sure many of us who are sitting here, apart from being scientists, they are also in the realm of manufacturing various construction materials. And which is the key construction material? That is cement. We all know, all geological analysis, all investigations, they tell us that in 30 years' time, maximum 40, limestone is going to vanish from the face of this earth. Our deposits are going to dwindle down. What should we do then? The infrastructure has to be constructed. You need materials. You need different kind of materials, different technologies. And who's going to be basically thinking about it? Age-old system in our country, Aryavart, has been that there were gurukuls, there were gurus who were thinkers, and they used to look at the kind of problems that the society faced, and accordingly they started giving out the knowledge and wisdom. And all of us know very well that there are three forms by which you can deliver the knowledge. The first form is smriti, which means experiences of mine and experiences of elderly people who I respect. My memory, that is the first way to acquire the knowledge. Second is what we call as shruti, which means that I analyze, I think, I discard, I accept logical things, and then I say, and people listen to me. That is shruti. This is how we used to be teaching our young students everywhere. This is an ancient tradition that we have in our country. And the last one was when the bundle of knowledge enhanced too much, and you could not have basically been able to transfer it to future generations, then you went for lipi, which meant that you have to write it down and store it as a record. We have plenty of lipi, plenty of lipi. In fact, with the kind of, this internet and data transfer, you have so much of wisdom and knowledge stored on the web that you can just access it with a click of button. But what about Smriti and Shruti, which is most important? And that is something that gives me immense pleasure. That's my own benefit. I sit with the wise man there, or wise men like you. I listen to them. I try to absorb and try to see that what all you are talking about, can we solve some of the burning problems that we have in hand? We have been working together on skill development for our youth. What do we teach them? What should be the curricula? What should be the syllabi? What should be the pedagogy? What should be the material that has to be given to them? I'll just close it with a very small, very beautiful example. A young student of 4th standard or 5th standard, he or she asked the question, and teacher was there in the class, and said that, "Ma'am, can you tell me why exactly the trees are having their branches going up like that?" And look at the way the teacher answered. It's a very beautiful thing. The teacher said that when you want a biscuit, you want a chocolate, you want a cookie, you go to your mama, and that cookie is kept on the shelf which is on the higher level. So the mama takes out the jar and you raise your hands to get the cookie. Trees are also like children. Sun gives them the food. And then that's the reason why they keep on having their branches always pointing upwards. This was the story. But what was the further questions? Because a child is going to be asking questions after questions. Inquisitive child. He said, "What is the food for a tree?" Then came photosynthesis. Then came how exactly the solar energy is converted into the kind of vegetable energy and things like that. So that is a deliberation that we have to do. Thank you so much. It is going to close, sir. You gave me the mic. That's your problem. It's your peril. Thank you so much. Do deliberate and come out with some wonderful ideas, and we'll synthesize them. Thank you. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Okay. It's nice. 5 minutes stretched to 15, but we heard words of wisdom from him. That is also needed.
You asked for it.
Yes, no. Okay, our next speaker is Swamiji, Brahmachari Divakar Chaitanya Ji, who is at present heading the Chinmaya mission in Kolkata chapter since 2019. And we live in an interesting world and a very modern world. And in that sense, he can be defined as a very modern Swamiji. Why? Because Brahmachariji has had two strong spiritual yearnings in his school days. In the course of his mainstream education, he has earned diplomas in software engineering, hardware, networking technologies, and a Bachelor of Arts degree, postgraduate diploma in mass communication and journalism, and an MBA. That's why he's the digital world modern Swamiji as well. So he has served as the director of international social work organizations and a lot of other places. In addition to his knowledge, he's involved in art and culture from childhood. He has a harmonious voice, which we are going to listen now, plays several instruments like tabla, pakhwaj, harmonium, tanpura, etc. In fact, in addition to his spiritual offerings and duties, he used to play tabla for All India Radio Akashvani at the age of 13 and has performed Shruti Natak at Akashvani. He has given enormous amount of talks and discourses to engineering colleges, universities, IIMs across the country. He takes the regular Vedantic classes for all age groups, and his motivational talks are followed by various famous personalities worldwide. So I will request Brahmachari Divakar Chaitanya Ji to give us his words of wisdom, rather pearls of wisdom. Sorry to say, though in a little brief way, because we have the limitation for time. Please, sir.
ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतम करुणामयम नमामि चिन्मयम देवम सद्गुरुम ब्रह्म विद्वरम. What about the upadhis? He told it's as like as Divakar. The main thing is Chaitanya, the consciousness, and today's subject matter. So, being a lover, follower, and sevaka of Advaita Vedanta, and today's topic is science and society. So, what I have thought to speak about that Advaita Vedanta and science, both investigate a reality, but they do so with different methods. And aims are different sometimes. So this leads to a complementary relationship where science studies the changing world and Advaita Vedanta points to the non-dual ground of experience. Each also carries its own sense of duty. Advaita speaks of dharma. Please don't translate the dharma word as religion. Dharma comes from the word, Sanskrit verbal root, dhri, is the substratum of everything else. Suppose water. So its dharma is liquidity and coldness. So if we fetch its liquidity and coldness, we can tell it ice or vapor, but it's not water. So dharma is the very substratum of everything else. So being a human being, we have a dharma. Each and everything over here, you are seeing the books, the ions, the mobile phone, everything has a dharma. So Advaita Vedanta deals with that dharma as an ethical and spiritual responsibility, while science speaks of social responsibility and ethical conduct in research and its applications. So thing is, a lot of things have invented, a lot of things are ready to be invented, but the question is in the ethical ground. See, duty and responsibility in science, in the scientific community, duty is articulated through ideas of responsible conduct of research and social responsibility. The core duties include honesty in data and, avoidance of fabrications or anything else, fair authorship and careful attention to the limitations and risk of one's work. So science are also seen as having obligations to society, to conduct research that benefits humanity, to oppose misuse of scientific findings, for example, some harmful technologies, and to participate in public education and policy discussions with their expertise. The sense of responsibility emerges partly because science is publicly funded and deeply shapes the social, environmental, and political realities. So what is the duty of Advaita Vedanta over there? So there is, if you translate the word science, there is a conflict. But if you come to the Sanskrit word Vijnanam, there is no conflict. In many Upanishad, we get that word Vijnana, Vedanta, Vijnana, Sunischitartha. Or in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, we get Vijnata Mare, means to know. And how Vishesha Rupena Jnanam is Vijnanam. If we give, because it is the land of Sri Ramakrishna also, so he defined it wonderfully about Vijnanam. That someone else have heard about the name milk. Someone else have seen what is milk, that is Jnanam. And someone else have tasted it, drunk it, and relished it, and at the same time assimilated it, and got that the good effect of that, then it is called Vijnanam. When we will be soaked into the ideas and ideologies, the ethical values of the thing, because consciousness is everywhere, and science proves that. When the subject matter of science is nothing but the world which is grasped by the Panchendriya, 5 sense organs. And the Advaita Vedanta deals with what is the source of that. How? Because, if I tell, just I will take 1 minute. There is a famous book called Drig Drishya Viveka. There it is absolutely nicely depicted the things, Rupam Drishyam Lochanam Drik. So how it relates? Because Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam was the great sentence we got for this year, but it is age-old word. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Ayam nijaparo veti ganana luguchetesham. This is the verse. So what is the thing? How we will relate the science and technologies and Vedanta? How there is oneness? You are not alike me. I am not like you by in shape, color, education, anything else. But there is oneness. How that oneness is? Like if anyone says that this is the thing, like, if anyone says that you are like the mic, I will tell no. So Rupam Drishyam Lochanam Drik means how the consciousness consequences everything else, that what you can perceive, that you are not, Vedanta tells. So whatever you are perceiving, that you are not. Maybe there is a very wonderful model of replica in Madame Tussauds museum, like you or me, absolutely same, but you will tell this is my model, my replica, but I am not, it is. So if we put that theory in our case, so I can see, I can perceive my body, so definitely that I am not. Am I right? So in that respect, so who sees? Not the eyes. Eyes are the instrument. So our Vedanta says there is mind behind the eyes. But many times we told, my mood is not okay today. Man kharab hai bhai. So someone is observing my mind. Someone is observing. Otherwise, how he will report that I'm not in a good shape today? So mind is also inert, appears as conscious. So our Vedanta says there is intellect, buddhi. हमारे जीवन में कितने बार हुआ हम लोग बोला कि अरे भाई उस समय मेरा बुद्धि काम नहीं किया. So there are someone else who is observing my buddhi also. And the ultimate seer is Chaitanya, consciousness. Maybe as an institutional formation, my name is Divakar Chaitanya, but you all, after your name, there is Chaitanya, 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 who is the substratum of the everything else. And that is the subject matter of science and Vedanta too. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you very much.
Next we'll have the presidential address of today's meeting and deliberation by a person who is a stalwart in true sense of the term, not only in terms of his own academic brilliance and excellence, but his application of his brilliant mind, knowledge, for the tremendous development of the society as well. Is none other than Professor Himadri Shekhar Maiti, an engineering student by academic standard, but He has done his MTech and PhD from IIT Kanpur, which is one of the cradle of the Indian excellence in the country for quite a number of years. And one after another, he was in IIT Kharagpur, later on at other places, and ultimately was the director of CGCRI, that is Central Glass and Ceramic Research Institute, in 1999. He had been to UK, University of Harwell, for his postdoctoral fellowship, an enormous amount of, associateships, memberships, honorary fellows, faculties, Indian National Academy of Science, West Bengal Academy of Science and Tech, Material Research Society, Indian Institute of Ceramics, Indian Ceramic Society, Indian Thermal Analysis, and so on and so forth. The list is unending. And he is the recipient of Deokaran and Ganpule Award by the Indian Ceramic Society, MRSI Medal by Material Research Society, Scroll of Merit Award by the Indian Cryogenic Council, and so many industries he was associated with. But one thing I think I know a little bit, CGCRI was one of the CSR laboratories in our country among so many others. And we knew that a lot of research in glass, ceramics types of things are happening, used by the industry. But how many of us know our defense organizations, mostly DRDO, depends tremendously, heavily on CGCRI, its material produced, the patents that are generated, including Professor Maithi's patents, not only in India, abroad also, and what we are calling at present the prowess of India in terms of defense. CGCRI started playing that role probably when he was there, and at present it is continuing. So we welcome not only a legend, but also a person who is making a new beginning for our future as well, Professor Maithi.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks to Dr. Duwari for his very elaborate introduction about me. Well, this is my first interaction with this organization. I didn't know that this organization does so many things, particularly in the cultural aspects of every field. And so many people have come here, discussed their philosophy, their practice. Well, I'm not really a philosopher. I've done some science from my bachelor's level, and then led a research organization which is also doing some science, but more of technology. Now, Dr. Duwari has explained very clearly what is society is expected from the scientists and what scientists can deliver to the society. Well, it is obvious that science and society are intertwined. They are interdependent on each other. Science cannot proceed without the assistance and involvement of society. Of course, today's science is quite different, and today's society is also quite different. Scientific activity started long, long back. centuries back. That time society was quite different. Society didn't have any expectation from the so-called scientists. Scientists were basically individuals with a lot of inquisitiveness, wanted to know what is happening around him or in the society. That's how it started long back, 15th, 16th century. And the modern science developed with only few individuals thinking beyond the other persons in the society. Like Newton developed the laws of motion, the gravity. Copernicus developed the kind of earth and sun relationship, who is revolving around whom. That time, society didn't demand that you should know about it. It is simple. Individuals' inquisitiveness was predominant at that time. But as the time progresses, many different things happens, one after the other. Somebody developed the penicillin, the most important drug or medicine for today. It completely changed the society. And the most important thing happened later on as the physics progressed. Somebody tried to find out what the atom or molecules is made up of. And it was Rutherford which first says it is the atom consists of electrons, neutrons, and so on. An electron is moving around the neutrons. And those are not driven by society. It is driven by individual inquisitiveness. But today, the situation is completely different. Because science has progressed so much, it has given rise to different technologies, which is beneficial for the society as a whole, or sometimes they are not so beneficial, particularly when such knowledge is used for weapon systems. That really doesn't help the society as a whole, it destroys the society. So science has two aspects. One is the beneficial aspect, other is the destroying aspect. Same science, same knowledge can be applied in two different ways. And that's what has happened today. And as we progress, the knowledge is increasing tremendously. The rate of growth of knowledge is become exponential. So, society's demand is also increasing. Society wants many different useful things for their living, for their better living, for their intellectual awareness, and so on. Now, how it happens? In fact, during the last 100 years or so, the rate of growth of science has become very fast. And these science are also leading to different technologies, which are useful again for the society. Now, if I go back and try to find out the evolution of science or materials as such, materials also a product of science. Now, prehistoric age has been named after the materials, after the particular material which was dominant at that time. We know of Stone Age because there are only available stone, natural stones were available, nothing else was there. So everything was stone related. People use their mind how to use stone for their own benefit. Right. After that came the so-called metal age. Metal was initially not known, but people understood the chemistry, how to extract metal for the natural resources, and then first came copper, then came bronze, and the very important metal today, which we are using almost every day, that is iron, came much later. So that becomes the so-called Iron Age, and Iron Age is still continuing. Of course, iron and steel are very similar things. The only difference is slight composition. Pure iron, when mixed with small amount of carbon, you give rise to steel. Steel is still in use. And we are talking about newer and newer variety of steels for our construction, for our instruments, and so on and so forth. After that came the so-called age of polymers. The polymers were not known earlier. Plastics and polymers came after the metal. And as you know, the way the polymer is being used today and the kind of articles we are making, the kind of properties we are deriving out of polymer is tremendous. So a lot of research has gone into that. Once we know that polymer exists and polymer has certain properties which are useful to us, people jumped into that fray and tried to develop polymers of different types, polymers of different properties, and so on and so forth. I don't go into the details of that. The current age, somebody says it's silicon age. Okay, it's primarily for two reasons. Silicon is not a metal, it's very similar to metal, but it's not exactly metal. For metal, the electrical resistance decreases as we increase the temperature. But for silicon, it's the reverse. Its electrical resistance increases as we increase the temperature. And so a new name was coined. It's called semiconductors. And what happens to that after that? Once we know the properties of silicon, then came the so-called electronic devices, the integrated circuits, and everything led to today's computers, digital electronics, or digital science. And that is only because the silicon was developed. The properties of silicon was developed by the scientists. And it was developed in Bell Labs, and a Nobel Prize was also given for the same. We cannot, just 1 minute. Today's world, today's life, we cannot think without digital electronics. Our mobiles, we just cannot think of without mobiles. Our children cannot think not having a mobile and not to see the so-called videos. And everything started with the development of silicon. And the silicon has another role has played as a metal or a non-metal. When it combines with oxygen, it forms silicon dioxide. And silicon dioxide is the main constituent of glass. And pure silicon dioxide has another very important property. It can propagate light energy or light waves through it. Okay? So it is actually, nowadays it is called the fibers, silicon fibers. And it is only few microns in diameter. But it has 2 layers. And through which light, the laser light goes. And today's internet is because of silica. Pure silica glass, without pure silica glass, internet could have not been there. What is internet? Internet is basically connecting one computer to the other. And the signal goes through a very, very fine silica wire. And today, you know, these silicon cables, primarily made of glass, are connecting a computer from this part of the country to the next part of the country. And there are a large number of cables going through underwater, undersea. And all this has happened only because silica fiber, the properties of silica fiber could be established. So I think that's more or less we have come to the general, the current level of technology. Of course, there are many other things are happening in the molecular level, atomic level. People are trying to understand what atoms can do further, what molecules can do, or what new materials can be developed through the molecular, what we call molecular engineering. So the molecular engineering has come up in a very big way. And of course, artificial intelligence, everybody is talking about it. And that could not have been there without the development of computers and silicon. Well, that's all I have to say and I have to share with you. Thank you very much.
At the beginning, I mentioned to you that Bharatiyavidyamandir and Society Symbiosis are trying to do something very unique. And unique it is indeed. Because most of us in our regular life, we had the experience of a country or an organization or any collection of people, society, has one president. But today's function, amazingly and fantastically, has 2 presidents. One of the presidents you just heard, and the next presidential address will be given by none other than Padma Shri P.R. Agarwal ji, Prahlad Kumar Agarwal, whom probably you all know as the doyen of Indian industry. And his Padma Shri award was conferred by Government of India for his distinguished service in the field of trade and industry. The award is in recognition of his service as a textile leader, flag bearer of Make in India, running Rupa and Company, one of the India's largest clothing manufacturer and exporter. He has also been conferred with the Pride of Bengal by Indian Chamber of Commerce, Honorary Consul of Republic of India, of Colombia, Republic of Colombia, in 2011 appointed by the Office of the President of India for promoting bilateral ties. In addition to that, numerous amount of luminous awards. So he is one of the person who can be the catalyst to the effort that Bharatiya Sanskriti Sansad and Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan is trying to begin, because he has the vision, he has the knowledge, he has the practical sense of how technology, science can be applied to connect with the society to make a much bigger way of development. So I'll request Padma Shri Prahlad Rai Agarwal. You can sit over there if there is a microphone over there, you can sit and talk also. Right. Okay, always welcome. It will be an added advantage.
Friends, today's discussion is on science and society. I am not a man of science, hence I approached to a scientist, a big scientist, and had a discussion with him. I am putting the outcome of the discussion to you now. I am delighted to be with you today to discuss on science, society, and relationship. I would like to add the word technology along with science, and will try to understand the complex relationship within few words. Science is know why. Why does an apple fall from the tree? Why? The answer is that gravitational pull works. It was John Dalton who, in the atomic theory, submitted that matter is composed of small petrols called atoms, which are individual later. It was proved that an atom is composed of protons, electrons, neutrons, etc. The outlook of a scientist is to go deep into a subject, and in doing that, the profound and fragments. Then comes technology, which is know-how. How can we stitch clothes? How can we stitch clothes? How can we assemble a machine? How can we make a microscope? Technology has given us the power to build electricity, mobile phones, artificial intelligence. All are technologies. All of them are based on scientific principles. Each part of a machine is the result of science behind it. Right? Now come to society. Early man used to live in forests, right? This society then was primitive. Gradually men came together to build what we call society, right? The basic foundation of society is cooperation. From time to time, there are conflicts of interest, but in spite of that, cooperation is supremely important and fundamental. Now comes the question of relationship between the science and society. Science has given us power. We do not go to forest to get our fruits. Do we go there? We get them through banquets. It is fast, easy. We do not walk. We change our channels. on television sitting on the sofa. And using the remote, we do not need friends. We chat which uses artificial intelligence. The flip side of this is that we lose touch with humans. We lose touch with humans. The unity of the society gets loosened because of intense use of technological products. So what do we do? Now the question is, in this atmosphere, what should we do? Do we discard science? Do we discard science? No. Do we discard technology? No. Do we break the society? Should we break the society? No. What do we do then? We must reorganize ourselves. Science and technology. We should reorganize ourselves. Science and technology must be used intelligently and sufficiently, but not intensely such that the unity of human bonds, the fundamental life force of society, gets snapped. We must interpret so that our civilization values become strong and we become close to each other. Life is a complex balance and we must have that balance in order to live a good life. Should I repeat? We must reinterpret so that our civilizational values become strong and we become close to each other. Otherwise, what is society? Life is a complex balance and we must have that balance in order to live a good life. I urge upon all of you to think what is said. Thank you.
So I was asked to round up the discussion session technically within one, but we have other session as well as the Thanksgiving, vote of thanks. So what I will do, but there is something called address by convener Dr. D.P. Duwari. I have no more addresses for you. So I'm foregoing my 5 minutes, but I don't know how it will go. So now there is quite a number of scientists in the audience. Those who could not be accommodated in this small stage, but they are also at the center stage. That's why. I don't know whether all has come. According to the booklet that was provided to me, quite a number of them, and two institutes really, Bose Institute and CGCRI. So whatever, Arvind Kumar Gupta, Professor Indranath Sinha, Gautam Banerjee, Shiv Shankar Roy, Dr. K. Annapurna, Dr. Vamsi Krishna Valla, Siddhartha Kumar Prasad, Dr. Shoikat Biswas, Dr. Sangeeta Sen, Neeraj Chadha, Sacha Majumdar, Pradeep Khatua, Dr. Sunirmal Jana, and Sri Vishambar Nehar, are one of the leaders of the communication technology industry, as well as Dr. Devendra Kumar Devesh, Dr. Ajayendranath Trivedi, and others. So, this is I am leaving to you. If you think you want to add your words of wisdom, words, I'm not saying sentences, paras and stanzas because we don't have much time. So, words of wisdom for all of us each one of you, I will request you voluntarily to come up. This is a scientific discourse. We don't need those technicalities of calling somebody and giving all these garlands and all that, though it was done in our case. Please do come on the stage and give your words of wisdom for all of us to get benefited. I'll request all of you, whose name I mentioned, if you have something for us which can be a pathway for our future endeavor, please. This is an honestly I'm saying, please. Yeah, please, Professor. Yeah, it's wonderful. This is the spirit I love.
Namaskar, dignitaries on the stage, and good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Annapurna from Central Glass and Ceramic Research Institute. So many dignitaries have already delivered. I just want to, it is my learning and also my feeling. Science is truth. This I learned from my science teacher in 7th standard. Science is truth, means facts, and principles guiding the facts. Understanding the principle guiding the facts is science. And also, well-renowned chemical engineer, I learned what he said is, inspire, get inspired, and then go inside. And by going inside, you intensify, and then after intensifying that, you implement. Means first you see the thing, you get inspired, and then go inside. Means you do science. Doing science, you intensify that science. Means you add it by knowing the principles, and then you implement. Means you are making the science to technology. So that science, when you make it to technology, means that becomes useful to the society. That is why science means, people always think science is away from the society because it is always underneath. Like in a tree, the base is the roots, which gives the support and which makes the tree to erect, stand. But we can't see the root. The science is like that. So when it comes to technology, then it reaches to the society and it becomes useful. So for every technology, you should have the science. Without science, there is no technology. So the science which turns to the technology, then only it comes to the society. So I take another 3 minutes because I'm a glass person. I do glass research. I take the glass. Glass is a material. Normally, we see glass from the childhood. Whenever we comes to our consciousness, we see glass around us, but we don't notice it. We just take it for granted. But it is a wonderful material, versatile material. Why? Because I just give 4 notable, what I can say, inventions in glass. One is the window. Window. In a house, you have a window. Without window, you cannot imagine a house. Means in wooden flap also you can have, but that window will not serve. So when glass go and sit into it, you get all the light, and at the same time you get the protection. That is one invention, very good invention, which is useful to the society. This is a glass also evolved. I am not going into that, how glass has come. It is a very, very old and ancient material and well engineered material. Another invention is the optical glass. We can say, means always, I am a fan of glass. Glass is, it can make you to see unseen. When your original biological lens is not doing the work, your ophthalmic glass, the spectacles will make you see. It's a normal vision. But at the same time, the optical glass, this is also, glass is a normal, but when you do optical glass, technology came. Like science you did, how glass is made is the science, and how you are controlling the properties and reoccurring the same things in a systematic way in a mass production is the technology. That is the glass technology that has come to in use to the society. So without glass, no microscope. Only after invention of optical glass, microscope came. With that, science evolved. Without microscope, there is no science. At the same time, microorganisms you could see. At the same time, the glass in telescope had made you to see the macro objects. Without that, there is no astronomy, nothing. Without glass. So only the glass is the master there. Next is the light bulb. Without glass envelope, there is no light. Now what you have seen, there is no light. The fourth is, now we say it is the modern society. You see, science only making the society modern. Means science to technology, and the society has become modern only based on the science only. But we are not, we say there is, these are unison, means they are going interrelatedly. So that optical fiber, what Dr. Maiti has told, optical fiber is a glass fiber which is connecting across the continents. Earlier, many people might have, now they have experienced telephone or telegram, people cannot be connected. Now with a click, you are able to see, you can listen, you can send data, everything within a fraction of a second, everything is happening only because of the science and technology. So the culture is coming out of science. So society's culture, because of this modern society, the culture is changing day by day. This is coming from science only. So the science is giving, advancing the advancement of science, the development of science is giving the advancement in technology, and that is taking the society forward. So that is making the society modern. So what I mean to say is, everything is science. So there is no separation. We have to go with it, and when we have to think only science, how it is useful to the society, how we can take it to the society. Only as a responsible person, as a scientist, we should think that. And I think I thank Mundraji and the organization to giving me this opportunity to speak before you. Thank you very much.
Yes, yeah. I'm sorry, we have to be a little brief because, yeah.
My name is Gautam. I served CGCRI under leadership of Dr. Maiti for many years, and I retired in 2016. I do write a lot, and I wonder over the consciousness. Consciousness is really present, but it is difficult to prove because recent the invention of quantum information has proved it that Niels Bohr has taken a lead over Einstein, but Einstein always believed that consciousness has logic. By logic it can be proved. So computer scientists are there to prove that consciousness is artificial, it can be proved, but it's a very difficult game. Swamiji made a very good point that there is some observer of it, and he keeps watch on everything. And I remember that poet Tagore once met Einstein in his village in Germany, and Einstein asked him, what is reality? Tagore said, reality that does not have a humanity to appreciate is meaningless. Einstein said, what about the scientific truths like Pythagoras' theorem, which says hypotenuse square is equal to base square plus perpendicular square? This is true even if humanity is not there. Then Tagore said, but still there will be one observer to watch it. Einstein laughed at it and said, then I am more religious than you. That means anything we do, there is an observer. But modern science has proved that it is difficult to prove consciousness. The artist can prove it through their work, but it is very difficult. We are far away from that reality. That is a daylight dream still. But quantum information has given an alarm to us that the forgery that we see in today's society, the cyber fraud, can be tackled because we are expecting quantum computer, a very fast quantum computer to come. A quantum computer is different from digital computer in the sense that digital computer works on 0, 1, yes or no, digital bits, but quantum computer works on superposition of 1 and 0, means it takes all the states in between. That is quantum mechanics, okay? So this is the principle of quantum mechanics that will be put into effect. Already quantum computers are there, but a fast computer is still about to come because qubits instead of bits is very difficult to make, but it will come. Once it comes, the cryptography, which is science of encryption and decryption, when we give a message to computer, it gets encrypted, then when you give the result, that is decrypted. This encrypted and decrypted software will all become obsolete. And we may have to stand before the mobile shops to return our mobile and get quantum mobile, which will be different because quantum computers will hack all the present day software that we have for cyber frauds. So cyber frauds will be outsmarted by quantum computer, and this is going to come. Maybe it will take some time because last year a paper has come in Nature Physics that qubits can be developed, room temperature qubit. It was a daylight dream. So we have come very close to quantum computer, and that again proves that science is there as a faith. It respects the faith, and whenever there is some immoral thing, the scientists developed those things which will make the society moral. That's all. Thank you.
I think I should finish a little early because I'm sitting over here and it is becoming very difficult for me to sit over here because, first of all, the fantastic food, the smell of the food coming from that side, and down below there are shops, you know, and the food coming up also. The smell, I'm really getting very jittery.
Probably before the end, Mr. Our friend.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so okay. I will have 2 5-minute slots, sorry to say, before the vote of thanks and the ultimate, at least the moksha for today, having the fantastic food, Annapurna, whatever. So as he has earlier showed his intent, Dr. Jishnu Basu, I'm very sorry, sir, to try to be a little brief, and then we will have the wisdom of Mr. Nevar.
Respected dignitaries on and off the dais, I would like to mention that today the time has come to decompartmentalize the wisdom divisions, the disciplines of wisdom, the science, social sciences, philosophy, and others. I would like to mention one example, that from our childhood, we have been taught that there was one Aryan invasion, and it was 2,500 years BC, there was invasion. And the people, the Aryans, they came, they killed our native people, and they started living there. Swami Vivekananda, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, they strongly opposed this proposition by several European scholars. But today, science has come up with a solution. From the Rakhigari remains, it has been proved that the hapnotype, the peopling of India, the mixing of so-called Aryan and non-Aryan, so-called Dravidian, this mixing, the hapnotype, the ancestral components that are present in Indian gene, the mixing is more than 6,000 years old. That in Rakhigori, we have proved that in Rakhigori, which was the advanced Saraswati civilization, there also this so-called Aryan and non-Aryan mixing was there. So this is the time where science can help history to rewrite the history in the proper way. And especially for Bengal, that who has developed this muslin, this silk, the cotton, that Bengal was the Bengal was a very rich region. And not only it was an agrarian economy, it was trade, it was the maritime advancement was there. But we don't have any history. Before 1206, we know very little about Bengal. Only because of the rulers of Bengal, their administrative skill, their artilleries, Alexander the Great had to leave India because of the Gangaderi civilization, which was in Bengal. But we don't know any name of the Gangaderi king or the other kings who were there in 16 Janapads of Bengal. So I think for India, science would be the tool to rewrite the history and to complete our wisdom. With this verse, I would like to end. And thank you very much for giving the opportunity to speak something about this August gathering.
Wonderfully said. I think on a present context, the history that we need for at least Bengal is that of Acharya Jagadish Chandra Bose, Professor Satyen Bose, C.V. Raman, Meghnad Shah, not what was happened 2,500 years back. They can be our lesson, but direct impact in science and next to the society, we have stalwarts in our sense. Whatever. We have now Mr. Nevor, who is one of the communication giants with his own newspaper, television channels, and tremendous wisdom in communicational technology.
बहुत धन्यवाद। इस तरह के सेमिनार गोष्ठियाँ हमारे शहर में बहुत कम होती है और मैं आपको एक थोड़ा, चूँकि सभी आप खाने के लिए इंतज़ार कर रहे हैं, तो मैं थोड़ा आपको दूसरा टेस्ट देना चाहता हूँ और टेस्ट है हिंदी का, कि मैं अपनी बातों को हिंदी में रखूँगा आपके सामने। देखिए, जब से सृष्टि हुई है तब से साइंस और सोसाइटी दोनों रही है हमेशा। सोसाइटी है और साइंस है, किसी न किसी रूप में साइंस रहा है। उस ज़माने में पत्थर से पत्थर टकरा करके आग पैदा की जाती थी, वो भी साइंस था और सोसाइटी थी। सोसाइटी और साइंस पर्यायवाची शब्द नहीं है, एक दूसरे के पूरक भी नहीं है, ये दोनों एक साथ चलते हैं, रेल की पटरी की तरह। पटरी नहीं होती तो रेल नहीं चल सकती। अब देखिए, आपके नाम है यहाँ संस्थाओं में, एक है भारतीय विद्या मंदिर। अब देखिए, विद्या और मंदिर दो अलग अलग चीज़ है, लेकिन जब विद्या को आप मंदिर में बैठा देंगे, विद्या की जब आप पूजा करेंगे तो साइंस बन जाती है। विद्या को पूजना जाइए तो साइंस बन जाती है। दूसरा शब्द है संस्कृति और संसद। संस्कृति है रविंद्र संगीत, भरतनाट्यम, साहित्य एब्सोल्यूट चीज़ होती है, उसको आप भरतनाट्यम को चेंज नहीं कर सकते और रविंद्र संगीत को चेंज नहीं कर सकते और नजरुल गीति को चेंज नहीं कर सकते। लेकिन उसको जब संसद में बैठा दीजिएगा, जहाँ डिस्कशन होता है, संसद इज़ फॉर डिस्कशन, बातचीत के लिए, बहस के लिए। ये हमारी पुरानी परिपाटी है। किसी ज़माने में शास्त्रार्थ भी होता था। शास्त्रार्थ का मतलब है कि कोई एक चीज़ एक नहीं है, उसका बेसिक एक चीज़ नहीं है, हम बहस करते हैं और कोई चीज़ लिखी हुई नहीं है कि ये सही है और ये गलत है। तो जब संस्कृति को संसद में बैठाइएगा तो वो बन जाती है साइंस। इस प्रकार ये साइंस और सोसाइटी दोनों एक दूसरे को चलती है। मैं आपको दूसरे उदाहरण देता हूँ। साइंस बहुत डेवलप कर गया, हमने हाइड्रोजन बम बनाया, न्यूक्लियर बम्स बनाए, और किसी एक पढ़े लिखे आदमी ने, एडुकेटेड आदमी ने, हाईली एडुकेटेड आदमी ने उसका प्रयोग किया नागासाकी में। वो अशिक्षित नहीं था, वो बहुत पढ़ा लिखा आदमी था, साइंटिस्ट था। उसने प्रयोग कहाँ किया? नागासाकी में। हजारों लोग मर गए, लाखों लोग अपाहिज हो गए। वहाँ पर सोसाइटी की ज़रूरत पड़ती है, वहाँ महावीर या गांधी की ज़रूरत पड़ती है कि जो चेक करे उसको। दूसरी बात है सोसाइटी की। कल हमने देखा सॉल्ट लेक में किस प्रकार लोगों ने सोसाइटी के वहाँ, दैट इज ऑल्सो, ये भी सोसाइटी है। अभी कुछ दिन पहले हमने देखा जो लोग हवाई जहाज़ में, हवाई जहाज़ साइंस का आविष्कार है, साइंटिफिक, कि हम 2 घंटे में दिल्ली पहुंच जाते हैं, 8 घंटे में अमेरिका पहुंच जाते हैं। ये साइंस का इन्वेंशन है। लेकिन सोसाइटी जब साइंस गड़बड़ाता है तो फिर वही होता है जो इंडिगो के साथ हुआ। हम एयरपोर्ट्स को रेलवे प्लेटफॉर्म बना देते हैं। तो ये साइंस और जो सोसाइटी है ये एक दूसरे का पूरक भी है। आप किसी को कम समझिए, किसी को ज़्यादातर, ऐसा नहीं है, दोनों की आवश्यकता। और जिस दिन कोई भी एक चीज़ कमज़ोर हो जाएगी, हर चीज़ गड़बड़ा जाएगी। इसलिए मैं अपनी बातों को मैं समझता हूँ, मेरा काम इतना ही था। कम्युनिकेशन का काम होता है चीज़ों को आसान बनाना। चीज़ों को मैंने नई बात नहीं कही है, जो स्वामी जी ने कही, बाकी लोगों ने कही, उसी बात को मैंने अपने ढंग से कही है, आसान बना के कही है। इसी बात में फिर धन्यवाद देता हूँ। जय हिंद, नमस्कार।
Technically, I had in mind to have the vote of thanks now, which will be given by Mr. Rajgopal Sureka. But I cannot ignore one of the persons I know as one of the brilliant researchers amongst us, Dr. Shoikat Bishwash, because he has also shown his intention to say something. Our time is really short. I'm extremely sorry. Please make your comments. And then I will request Dr. Rajgopal Sureka, Mr. Rajgopal Sureka.
Thank you, sir. And I am honored to be here in this audience with these dignitaries people. And I am even happier seeing the picture which is pasted here. It is also available in our website from Bose Institute, which is with Sir J.C. Bose and his students. So I will not take much time. Myself and Siddharth both are working in experimental high energy physics in Bose Institute. And we started our career also from VCC, Kolkata. It is also in Kolkata, and we did PhD under same supervisor, Dr. Shubhashish Chatterjee. And I will only take 1 minute maybe, because you see, we worked for high energy physics in India, as well as I did my PhD, in a project in India-based neutrino observatory, which is unfortunately could not took place finally. But I also worked with him, Jishnu Babu, and I got a lot of help from him when I was doing my PhD. And Siddharth worked in ALICE experiment, which is at CERN, Geneva. But I am happy to let you know, and it will be very useful, I guess. Now, India is building another experimental facility in Germany. It's called FAIR, Facility for Antiproton and Ion Research, where India is now, after Russia is out, so India is the second highest shareholder to build this facility. So it is really very good thing, and I am one of the person working in FAIR project. And Bose Institute in Kolkata is the nodal institute who is conducting from India. So it is also a good thing. From Kolkata, we are doing everything. We are handling the project. And I am also doing the liaison between the academics, also with the industry, because we are not only giving money to build this accelerator facility in Germany, but also we are sending the in-kind items. Like we are building the instrument here with some German technology, also something from Indian technology, and sending the instrument to Germany to build this facility. So now many students, many researchers are working for detector development, simulation, and myself and Siddharth are also working in this project. So yes, thank you.
So what a glorious end to this meeting. You should, if you're in Germany, you should go to Darmstadt and see. I've been there last year, and it's just a celebration of technology, I will say. So now, you want to say something? Yeah, Dr. Mundra will say something, and after that, Mr. Sureka.
Friends, it was a wonderful session. एक सेशन हम आगे करेंगे, जो कि मैंने एक पंक्ति सुनी थी, मैं हिंदी में ही कह देता हूं। विज्ञान धर्म को धारण कर कल्याण विश्व का करता है। सो धर्म का अर्थ यहाँ पर पंथ या रिलीजन के अर्थ में नहीं है, जो हमारा कर्तव्य है, जिससे हमारा कर्म प्रेरित होता है, गाइडेड होता है, वही धर्म है। तो एक सेशन हम आगे करना चाहेंगे, विज्ञान धर्म को धारण कर कल्याण विश्व का करता है। आई एम highly obliged to all of you. We could not give time to all the dignitaries and all the learned scientists and other members of the society. But this is not the end. Well, we have just begun. So we will meet again. Thank you very much. And as you know, too much of everything or anything is bad. If you put too much in one day, it will become difficult to digest. Thank you.
इससे पहले कि धन्यवाद ज्ञापन हो, मैं संस्था के अध्यक्ष और हमारे आज के सत्र के अध्यक्ष डॉक्टर माइती से अनुरोध करूंगा कि जो भी वैज्ञानिक हमारे बाहर से आए हैं उनको वो अंगवस्त्र और पुस्तकें देकर उनका सम्मान करें।
Acha. Yeah, I will be here. But actually, I have a meeting with the French, German consul at 2:15. So I will just leave after that, and I will probably meet you sometime in the future.